we're out.
We have a really full docket tonight, so we'll try to keep things flowing well. The first item is the consent agenda. Do any of the city commissioners have questions?
Move to approve.
Yes. Do any of the city commissioners have questions or comments on the consent agenda?
I do not. Mr. Dool, how are you? Good. I've got a little something for you. Yes. This is a letter. I'd like to read it to you. Dear Preservation Bloomfield, on behalf, for Michael Dool, on behalf of the City of Bloomfield Hills City Commission, the city administration, and the residents of our fine city, I am honored to extend our deepest congratulations to Michael Dool in recognition of his retirement. Michael was elected to the Bloomfield Hills City Commission and served 2 terms and led the city for a year as mayor. As appointed by his fellow city commissioners, Michael was known for his strong commitment to the community, always with a calm demeanor and listening ear, finding ways to engage team members collaboratively and with the goal of problem solving for the betterment of the people of the city of Bloomfield Hills. Michael's recognition as a premier landscape architect is well known in the Birmingham-Bloomfield community and well beyond. The city of Bloomfield Hills has been fortunate to have Michael share his experience and eye for design in a variety of ways. Michael's invaluable contributions on projects such as the city's beautification and tree planting programs, the Woodward Avenue median landscape plans, and his input on many of the development projects during his time on both the Bloomfield Hills Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals will long be appreciated. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize Michael Dool and the time and commitment he gave to the city of Bloomfield Hills. Michael gave of his time and talents, always leading with the highest level of personal and professional integrity. Congratulations, Michael, and all the best in your retirement. And just as a little extra token, here are the keys to the city.
Really? Well, it's time I got that.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for all your time.
Here, Michael.
Well, let me know if you have it open.
Okay, the next item, item 4 on the agenda is the commission will hear the audited financial statement presentation for fiscal year 2025 from Raina Emmons, our auditor with PSLC PLLC.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Raina Emmons. I'm a partner with PSL. It's my pleasure to be here this evening and present to you the annual audited financial statements for the City of Bloomfield Hills for your fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. Once again, the city has received the highest level of audit opinion possible, which is an unmodified opinion. So no exceptions, no disclaimers, nothing bad to report to you tonight. In layman's terms, it's a clean audit opinion. I thought I'd jump in with a few highlights and happy to address any questions the commission may have. And please feel free to ask questions at any time as well. Starting off with the governmental fund revenues, your largest sources of revenue. I know it's hard to read the fine print here, but basically the blue part of the bar graph are your largest sources of revenue, which are your property taxes. So they far and wide exceed your other sources of revenue. The second largest would be the orange part of the bar, which is state and federal dollars that you may have received. So it's pretty much, I mean, you could see the impact of the property taxes. Fortunately, the city did receive about a 6% increase in property taxes, which is all taxable value increase. You did not increase your millage rate or anything like that. So that's all value here within the city. Charges for services are in the gray, fines and forfeitures in the yellow, and interest income is in the green. Following up with governmental fund expenditures, Your largest source of expenditures are public safety. That is the orange part of the graph there. And the blue at the bottom is just general government and administrative expenses. But public safety is by far the largest expenditure of the city. Debt service is in yellow. Capital expenses in green. Public safety expenses went from about $5 million, looking at this graph, going from 2021, the first bar, it's about $5 million to $7.3 million in that 5-year period. General fund balance, your annual expenditures of the general fund are the blue part of the graph, and the orange is your unassigned fund balance in the orange. The city does maintain a healthy fund balance. Nothing crazy, though. You're about 46% of expenditures. We consider that healthy, and you're right where you need to be with that. Another significant liability of the city, pension plan funding status. The pension trust assets are represented here in the blue. Your total pension liability is the orange. Your funding status this year, June 30th, 2025, is at 71%. The state likes you at 60% or above, but 71% is a solid number. But as you can see, it's been a larger percentage in years past. And just from one year to the next, the prior year you were at 70%. You're up to 71%. But the biggest impact looking historically at your pension plan has been investment earnings of the trust fund. So that really, it depends, and it's measured every year on December 31st. So the numbers in the audit represent basically the stock market on December 31st each year. So however the market closes really impacts this graph. But you are 71% funded, and the state is happy with that. And then, of course, other post-retirement employment benefits, retiree health care benefits. They're in the blue are your trust assets, and again, orange is your total OPEB liability. Here the state likes to see you at 40%, you are at 72% this year. The city has been making extra contributions toward that the past 3 years, I believe, and this past year you put some extra money toward the pension plan in 2025. So that really is making an impact on your numbers. A lot of communities are down at 50% range, so the city should be pretty happy with being in the range that you're at. I think I hit the wrong button there. Just a couple other highlights. Building permit revenues were up this year. The total general fund expenditures were very consistent from last year to this year, which is what we like to see. That's basically your operating expenditures. So nothing significant as far as, it's nice that when you can keep your operating expenditures very stable, and that way you can do capital projects and budget them out. Thank you. Capital outlay this year included over $1 million of road projects. You also purchased some police DPW vehicles, and you did the security access to City Hall and built the salt shed. That's all in this year's audit. You also paid off a couple of significant general obligation bonds, the 2010 and 2014 debt paid off, which of course the auditor loves to see. And also water and sewer fund, lastly, water and sewer fund, your water revenues and your expenditures were very consistent from last year to this year. So nothing significant to report there. The fund has been healthy. With that, I know that's a lot of numbers thrown at you in a short amount of time, so I'm happy to address anything that you find of interest, or there shouldn't be anything to concern you this evening.
Do we have a sense of, we have a calculation based upon the age of our workforce to find out where they are on the health side? I'm not worried about the pension side, I'm worried about the health side.
On the retiree health care side? That is what the actuaries calculate. I don't know, Sandra, if you have any comments as far as the pool of employees. They do take that into consideration when they're calculating your total liability.
Was considered.
Any questions? Comments? I guess we're.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Peach with Giffords Webster, the city's planning consultant. The item before you this evening is a sign application. Let me just get my bearings here. At 1018 Stratford Lane, this is for a residential identification ground sign proposed. This application went before the Planning Commission prior to this meeting, where the Planning Commission considered the overall site plan proposal for the new sign. We'll go through those details momentarily, but this particular site is zoned B1, and it's located on the east side of Woodward Avenue near Chesterfield. And what's currently on the property is a identification sign indicating Cranbrook Manor as the content of the sign. What's proposed is a replacement and an improvement, modification of the sign, bearing the same name. What brings it before you this evening is the fact that it falls within the 25-foot setback. So moving on to the survey, this is Woodward Avenue on the left side of the screen here. The property line is highlighted in pink. This is an existing survey, so it shows the location of the existing sign abutting the property line against Woodward Avenue. The red dash line indicates the 25-foot setback from that property line, and so the ordinance requires any new signage to be set back beyond the 25-foot setback from the property line. So the existing sign is going to be removed and replaced with this rendering here. Full review of the sign application indicates that all the dimensions comply with city ordinance. The black background with gold lettering, just to draw your attention to some ground sign or ground lighting to illuminate the sign at nighttime. Otherwise, the only dimension that this proposal does not comply with is the setback off of Woodward Avenue. The Planning Commission approved the site plan as a whole. However, the variance request comes before you for consideration within the 25-foot setback.
Is the base of it where the existing sign was, basically?
Yes, it's approximately the same location, and we were able to verify it will not encroach into the right-of-way. And as you can see here, just to give a little bit of added dimension, it's about 30 feet 10 inches from the paving section or the drive aisles of Woodward Avenue. So that distance from the closest point of the sign is about 30 feet.
Is that within the utility easement? Is that a public utility, or is that a, DTE, IDC type of utility? Above it, I saw the electric line.
Oh,
It's underneath there, water-wise.
underneath?
Sewer or, water mains or anything like that underneath it?
There shouldn't be anything underneath it because it's on their property and it's out of the right of way and all the,
It's underneath that electric easement. Does the title work show any other easements, if you know?
I didn't do a title search or a review of any title, but just the survey shows the overhead lines in this location, but there's no indication of any underground utility in that location.
yeah, there's no city assets under it.
Any other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion?
Move to approve.
You move to approve. Any second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. The next item on the agenda is item 8. The commission will consider the IT consulting contract with Creek Enterprises.
Thank you, Mayor.
Has had some difficulty in maintaining a service level that we were accustomed to. Previously, we were with IT Right, who we had been with since 2009. They were bought out by a company out of South Carolina called VC3, and in the transition, the service decreased. So we felt that it was time to go out to bid to see what was out there and if we could get a better service level. So the contract that's before you tonight gives us some of those service level guarantees. It has some metrics in there that are kind of industry standard on response times. We've done a comprehensive review with legal, and we feel that this is the best path forward.
And Mark, do you feel that all of the provisions of this, in this agreement, in addition to the 4 items that were addressed earlier, are sufficient to meet the city's needs and
Yes, I do. I'm satisfied with the contract. It's wordy, but I believe it's a good agreement for the city.
you didn't see anything in there from a legal perspective that would cause us problems with respect to things like confidentiality or?
No, I looked into that, and it's pretty much in keeping with the industry standards, so.
Okay, thank you.
We do have some representatives from Creek Enterprises here tonight, Brandon and Ryan, so if there's any questions for them, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer them.
Mark, I have the natural question. What kind of insurance protection do they have for us?
It's attached as Exhibit K to the agreement.
You satisfied?
Yes, and I know there was a provision talking about subrogation agreements. I did look at that, and there's not really a strong enforcement mechanism there. And there's also a kind of an opt-out in the last sentence that, if one party elects not to proceed with it, the other party's not bound by it. So I think that's satisfactory.
Any other questions or comments?
How does this cost compare to other vendors you looked at?
So we had quite the range from, just over 30,000 to 13 million across the 32 vendors that submitted proposals. So take your pick as far as the range goes. But this is pretty comparable to what we've been paying with IT Right and VC3. So I think it's in keeping with what we're looking for.
Just a quick question for you. Do you work with other municipalities doing the same kind of thing, so you're familiar with the needs and requirements of City Hall and public safety and all of that?
Yeah, we work with a lot of municipalities. We work with City of Adrian, City of Tecumseh, Village of Clinton, City of Bronson, Raisin Township. So a lot of municipalities, and so all of our technicians stay up to date. MXC just compliances, things like that. And we typically do the same standards unless specified differently in the proposals for all like data backups, things like that. So most of them are pretty much the same because they're kind of doing the same guidelines.
And then how long have you guys been in business?
Creek itself has been in business since 2003. Our IT branch has been around for about 5 years now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions? Are we ready for a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Plus, you might want to stay,
Gentlemen.
stay up there for the next one too,
Thank you, Captain Locker.
just in case we have more questions.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is the commission will consider the interlocal agreement with Oakland County for animal services.
Thank you, Mayor. We have brought this to the commission last month, and I think we were able to answer some more questions for the commission. And, the expert really on this is Captain Lockhart, who has dealt with this over the last several years. But it's a service that the city needs, and interestingly enough, the fees have been raised, but we spent $235 last year using these fees. So we do use the services, but not very often. And so I don't know if you have any questions in particular about how the Public Safety Department handles these things. That's why I asked Captain Lockhart to stand there, but we did review the contract again with the city attorney, and I believe we've answered most of the questions in there, but if you have any questions.
Well, we have some additional obligations now under this agreement with respect to the animals. If that animal is sick, when we pick it up, we have to take it to the vet and so forth. Do we have a procedure set up for that now?
Yes, ma'am, that's always been the case. We would always take a sick or injured animal to appropriate treatment facility first anyway,
Okay.
just as we do with people that are in our care. So there's really no change to that. We would take care of the immediate needs of the animal before we
A couple of things are, I think, new. At the last meeting when we reviewed this, we raised some questions. We thought it was a no-kill shelter, and now we know for sure it is not exactly a no-kill shelter, although apparently they mainly use euthanasia when the animal is sick or for quality of life issues. We also, Mark was good enough to provide us with some of the legal information that says the law provides that they cannot sell or dispose of a cat or a dog within 4 days after they have to wait at least 4 days. And if the cat or dog has any evidence on it of ownership, then they have to send a written notice to the owners, and they cannot dispose of the animal until 7 days have elapsed after sending the notice. So we have that additional assurance, or at least that additional knowledge now that we didn't have.
So they send it by post?
It doesn't specify that, does it, Mark?
It says written.
Just written notice.
Okay.
And it's from the date of sending, not the date
Correct.
of receipt by the,
That's too bad.
yeah. But, if it doesn't mean that they will necessarily, it just means that that would be the minimum period of time that they
And from my institutional knowledge, they do that. I can think of one time we've taken a dog up there in the past 3 years. And that was after we exhausted all of our efforts here locally, and they kept the dog way longer than 14 days. And I think they ended up adopting it out because it was clearly somebody's pet. It was well cared for, trained. So we did everything we could to try and find its owner. They did everything they could, and I think ultimately they adopted it out. They went past the 4-day mark.
I'm glad to hear that.
And this is, other than those items pointed out, this is the same agreement that we agreed to the last time too. So any other comments, questions? Do we have a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with Oakland County Animal Shelter and to authorize the city manager to execute and deliver the agreement on behalf of the city?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is item 10. The commission will consider the acceptance of a donation for the Public Safety Department from Gardner White. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Commission. We did receive a donation. The donation was made in response to a inquiry we made with local vendors in preparation of our upcoming budget for the fiscal year 27. In response to that, a resident made contact with the company and requested that they donate any available units matching our request. They did that. They delivered 8 different sets of XL mattresses that we were preparing to request in our upcoming budget, the price. And at this point, we are interested in accepting these. We've made contact with Gardner White. That is the individual who made the donation. A little bit of back and forth about our policy and our procedure, how we would like to, if we were to do this ever again moving forward, we would not like them dropped off. We would like it approved prior to that. Most importantly, we didn't want to accept something that was excessive. And we have been assured, back and forth conversations, that these were, quote, dead inventory items. Although they do match our need. Our current mattresses are standard length, and we've hired at least 5 individuals that are over 6'2", needing the XL. I personally am okay with a standard mattress. But some of our, and I don't use the dorms, but there are staff members that are taller than the mattresses. Current mattresses are long. So with that, I'm willing to accept any questions. We have documented as much information in regards to them being a closeout, and then with some repeated contacts with the staff there. I think they were getting a little annoyed with us. We demanded that they give us a price, the closest we could get to a price that they could sell it for, and I think they indicated the quote was at best $299 in their closeout, just to get rid of them in their inventory. So with that, I would take any questions or concerns from the commission.
Move to accept the donation.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that we spoke earlier today, and I know you made it very clear with them that they cannot expect any quid pro quo or any special favors because they gave this donation. And I know you're the utmost ethics, and you would not do that, so.
Nope. And the best, I think the best example of our integrity and our refusal to accept any kind of a donation for any quid pro quo action or favor was our past practice. And we have a recent example of that. I'm more than willing to discuss what I can discuss of that, but if an individual were to make a donation in support of our public safety department or our city, it entitles them to no such courtesy or preferential treatment whatsoever. We do really appreciate all the cookies, though, that we've been receiving. Although we need to be careful of our fitness levels, the ones that are there today are phenomenal. I can tell you that from experience. But yes, at no point, whether it's cookies or items like this, although very much appreciated, and we do value the support, we hope to continue to earn it from our community. It entitles them to no preferential treatment from services or enforcement actions.
Thank you for clarifying. Gardner White's aware of that.
Yes, ma'am.
I second, I think we had a motion
Yes,
to
we have a
approve.
motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Thank you very much. Can I have one moment, real quick, to address the commission? I just want to make a formal announcement and invitation on, if that's okay, Madam Mayor? On December 19th, Friday, Captain Van Samays will be officially retiring his position as a captain with the Public Safety Department. I tried to keep him as long as I could, and I tried to battle it, but he is ready to move on. At that date, we will be having a kind of a cake and coffee open house at 12, starting at 12 that day. There will be a formal ceremony with some presentations at 1 o'clock that day, ending with a clap out at 2 o'clock for him to officially sign off all of his duties and leave the department. So I wanted to make that
Thank you.
invitation to the commission. If you are interested and available, we'd love to have you. And there's always cake and coffee. So.
December 19th at 12.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now we have item 11, sort of a twofold here. It's the request to purchase sign brackets, but also Commissioner Baxter has a presentation on signage here.
Okay, Mayor, would you like me to first, or Commissioner Baxter, or?
Yeah, why don't you go first, and I'll follow up with this.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
So over the process of trying to determine what type of signs we're going to use for replacement purposes and to upgrade things, I believe we've kind of settled on the sign bracket kit itself, because it has captured all the signs, including even, not only the wood blades, I mean the metal blades, but the wood signs also. And so I wanted to get this in front of the city commission because there is an urgency to order this from a sole source provider, EFA in Minnesota, who was the actual provider for some signs that we have in the city over the years. And we do not have any more stock of these sign kits. So when we determine what type of signs we're going to get to fill these kits, we want to have the stock to send our DPW out to do the replacements. And so it's a long process to get these sign kits because they're ordering overseas. And it would be my recommendation that we just order the 250 that we'll probably need over time, so they always have them. And then when we do need to replace signs, we can just order the sign blades themselves. And I think it'd be an easier process for DPW. But in order for me to do that, I wanted to bring this to the city commission to have you consider approving this, and then I would have to provide half the cost, which is, the total cost is $12,875. I have to provide at least half that right now, but there could be some additional shipping costs and tariffs because it's overseas. And I do not know what that is right now. So we do have the funding right now in the local road funds to pay the down payment. And by the time we receive these, because it takes 5 to 6 months to get these sign kits, we'll be in a new budget year and we will budget for the second half. So I would ask that you would approve this.
Can the tariffs wouldn't kick in until they're shipped, correct? So if they don't ship for like 8 weeks and or you're saying longer,
5 or 6 months.
5 or 6 months, then we likely would not be paying the tariff, correct?
I think you pay on
Or do you pay it
receipt.
up front? Or
You pay it on receipt of the goods.
when you get the goods,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Good, okay.
So if tariffs wind down, we save money.
Yes. If that's possible.
Where will you store all these?
Our Department of Public Works.
There's plenty of room over
Yeah.
Oh, maybe before we get into a motion, there's a little bit of description in here. If there's any questions about what the kit is, there's a picture of it. We can go through that. I don't think it's really going to change anything. But
there. No, you might as well, that'd be great.
I appreciate the picture you have because the kit does contain the pieces that capture the blade, the post in the middle that captures the brackets, and the finial on top. And then
Right.
there's a component that attaches to the post. And that's within Commissioner Baxter's paperwork there, so I appreciate that.
we don't have anything to put up on the screen, or? Okay. So what I wanted to do with this is just try to address a few of the remaining questions. One of them was, do we spell out road, court, avenue, things like that, or do we abbreviate them? And I wanted to show an example of, for Trowbridge Road, for example, with road spelled out versus it abbreviated with a smaller text size for the abbreviation RD. As I was going through this, I realized too that I needed to take a look at what is the absolute, largest text, longest text string for the city, and then what is the shortest, and then how does that compare. And on the second page, you can see that Bloomfield Hills Parkway is going to be what I think is the longest text string for a sign, and given the proposed 2.75-inch height of the text, it does fit on a 36-inch sign with the abbreviation, but without the abbreviation, we would need something in the range of probably 48 inches, which becomes kind of a very long sign. So I just wanted to show what these would look like with the very longest text versus the shortest, which I think is Brady Lane, and that would go on a 30-inch blade.
May I ask, Can't we spell out road and lane and then only abbreviate parkway?
We could, and that was something that I was going to bring up, is that we could have a combination. Where it would fit, we could spell it out, and where it doesn't fit, we could abbreviate it. So that's an
I would
option
like to
as
see
well.
that, yeah.
Okay. It's a great question. The first two pages show the text at a height of 2 3/4 inches with the abbreviated text at 2 1/16 inch. And this is what seemed to fit on the blades the best as far as proportion. However, on the fourth page, I'm skipping a page, you can see the 3-inch text shown in comparison to the 2 3/4 inch text, and it just starts to look a little crowded on the blade, but it is possible to fit it on a 36-inch blade if you adjust the spacing of the text. So it's possible, but I feel that the 2 3/4 inch works best on the 6-inch blade, and it also works very well on the 5.5-inch planks. On the third page, you see how the signs would look on the bracket kits. On the left-hand side, you can see the 6-inch by 36-inch blades with the end caps. And then on the right, we've got the wooden plank signs, which are 5.5 by 1.5 inches thick, using the same exact text as we would on the metal blades if we were to use the planks. Then I just wanted to point out what we're actually purchasing, or what Dave was proposing to purchase. The kits include the base, the post, the finial, and the 4 brackets. This is what needs to be ordered so that we can replace signs as we need to. The blades and the planks, they can all be ordered sort of on an as-needed basis. So if there are more questions about text, text height, text spacing, font, we can still work through those in the next months. So there's no rush to make that decision right now. But we do need to get these ordered if we're going to have them available for when we want to do these replacements.
In the spring when the ground is.
Yeah.
Do we have to do them all now? We might order them all.
He wants to order them all.
We should order, I think we need to order all the brackets so that we've got enough to do replacements as needed. It just makes sense to do an economical order versus partial order. And then as we replace them, we can order those in smaller batches, the blades and the planks.
Great.
Ready for a motion?
I would like to move that we consider the request and approve the purchase of the sign brackets and the posts and the finials.
Do you have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carried.
Thank you for all your research and providing this.
Yep.
Commissioner Baxter.
Okay, we're moving on to item 12. Now, this is one that the commission will consider the board and commission appointments as recommended by Mayor McCarthy. But since she's not here tonight to explain her recommendations and respond to any
You mean Mayor McCarthy, correct?
What did I say?
You said Commissioner McCarthy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Susan McCarthy is mayor currently. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for correcting me. Since Mayor McCarthy is not here tonight to explain her recommendations and respond to any questions, I think it would be a good idea to table this item until the next meeting. And Amy has confirmed that the Planning Commission will be fine for the month of January with the people that are there now.
I'm confused. I thought that all of the appointments start in January, and it was important to get these
But she isn't
approved
here
and in
tonight.
place.
She isn't here tonight to answer our questions, so.
Well-
Amy's confirmed that we can do it and Mark has confirmed that we can do it in January. Amy's got sufficient coverage on the Planning Commission for the first meeting in January, which will be right before our meeting, when we can confirm this, but she isn't here, so,
She has a list of people she proposes.
yes, she gave them to us for our review.
Well, I spoke with her regarding all of these. I can answer any questions people have regarding these appointments.
Well,
And
I have
can speak very
questions.
highly of all these people that are
I
being
do have
appointed.
questions that I I don't think.
These
it
are her
works.
recommendations, and we've always taken the mayor's recommendations. We've never,
Oh, I know.
not, that is the honor of being the mayor, that you recommend who is appointed to these
But
positions.
they have to be approved by the commission, and the commission has, we have the right to ask questions and
Of
have them
course.
answered by the mayor.
You could have called her and asked her.
Well, she's out of town. I didn't want to bother her. She didn't,
Hmm.
I mean, I just got this,
This is
I
very
don't-
unusual.
I don't think it is.
It is.
I really don't. I think that it's just a matter of being able to ask questions.
I think we respect the mayor's position, and these are the people she would like in place. And these are the people she recommends.
She
And it's
recommends
never
them, but we
not
as
been
the
approved.
commission have the right to approve. We have the right to ask questions before we approve. I'm not suggesting that we're not going to approve anything. I'm just suggesting that we want to discuss it. And she isn't here to discuss it. And honestly, I thought that that would be something she would want. She would want to be
Sure,
here.
she'd be happy to discuss.
She would want to
And
be
she would have
here.
happy have taken your phone call.
Do we approve it for one month? And
No.
approve them because then we can just go, they can all be at the next meeting at a time, actually in January before our next meeting. I'd hate to have someone applying for a variance next January before our meeting and there's a question about whether the right people are sitting there. So if we do that, we'll do it for the 1 month. Makes sense, you know?
Mark, what do you say to that?
Well, I was informed that there was enough time to put this off for another day. As far as somebody applying for a variance, I believe, at least the proposed schedule, the ZBA meeting is gonna be after the city commission meeting. So for the ZBA, it shouldn't be an issue at
No.
all.
How about planning commission?
Planning commission meets, 4 o'clock the day of the planning
Yeah.
commission.
Is this something that could be approved for the month, or approved and any questions can be directed to the mayor at a, before the next meeting?
Can we recall if we want to recall if we approve something?
There's no process for recalling.
Why can't we do it for the month? Because after this week of work, as a commissioner, I would say that my hourly rate is not on, it's about 3 cents an hour. And people have called me about things that I view as phenomenally serious for the city in the long term. And I'm worried about what the planning commission does and doesn't do next month. Because it's coming to a head, 2 or 3 major projects, and I'm really, really uptight. I want them to at least talk. They're not gonna make the decision next month anyways, but it's good that they get a start.
And I understand that. However, your ordinance sets forth the terms of the members that when they're appointed, so there's not really.
So their
As I
term,
read this,
that planning commission term will always be starting in February instead of January because of this?
I'm saying the length of time, they're staggered 1 year.
No, but they're
separation.
2-year commitments,
This is
so
just-
they,
But this is just appointing one person to the planning commission, this motion.
yes, can't we make an exception for the one person that,
Well, but
she's been on the zoning board, she's,
for 1 year, she hasn't fulfilled her 3-year term on the zoning board, and there seem to be
she's
quite
highly
a,
respected,
there
she's,
seem to be quite
very
a few
bright.
very good candidates that she had, that Mayor McCarthy selected. There were some very good candidates there, so I just would like to ask some questions. I'm sure
Well,
some of the others on the commission might as well. I mean, we should have that right to ask questions.
absolutely, and you know her phone number, and you could have called her if you had questions. And I would, is there some way, Mark, that we could do this via email or do a phone call or?
No, it would have to be done at a meeting. However, as I understand it, and I think what my suggestion was, if there was anybody on here that wasn't, there weren't any questions on, you can address part of them tonight. But if there are people that there is some questions about, it might be appropriate to put it over until the mayor's present. And I do believe the planning commission would still have a quorum even if that seat is vacant.
I hope the people.
Well, can we have a special meeting, hold a special meeting this week when she gets back, or, I mean, this is very unconventional.
You can,
She made her appointments. I mean,
When is Susan, when's the mayor coming back?
I just don't think it's, I mean, these people make plans to be at the meetings and they carve out time to be there, and it's disrespectful to say, you know, put them on hold as well.
May I ask when the mayor's gonna be back, if anyone knows?
I was just advised that that I had to take over for her just over the weekend, so. you know,
I
didn't
think
have
she
time
was
for
gonna be
that.
out through Thursday.
We need 48 hours to notice here, before we get 72-hour notices.
18.
Stop 48.
18.
18.
18?
18 hours.
Everybody gonna be here Friday?
Yes,
I think we should expect to come back Friday.
I second that.
Compromise.
Time?
Okay? Is it okay with you?
Yes, well, what time?
You named it, 8 o'clock, or 8:15 on, I got a sheet physical therapy at 7. I'll be happy either before, say, 7 o'clock in the morning or after 8:15, so I mean, I'll do when you want it. We'll communicate and figure out a time when the mayor's here and two or three of us are here, and that's it. That's all we'll do. Fair enough?
I think that's appropriate.
Is that, do you need anything from us to have a meeting noticed up, or?
No, 18 hours, that's it.
Just
Okay. Shooting for morning then? Friday morning?
That's fine.
Okay.
was there a specific time?
Anytime after 8:30, or before 7, before 7.
But
You know, I'll take
what's the time we should post? I guess is the question.
9 o'clock? Unless Susan can't make it. If she can't make it till later in the day, we'll move it till later in the day.
That works for me.
I have a 10 o'clock, but,
Where's your 10 o'clock? Around here?
I mean, I can be here. I can take it remotely.
Next.
Does that work for you, Mayor Pro Tem?
If it doesn't, we'll move it to a different day.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if she's back by then. I don't know. I just know that she was
I'm
gonna
not
at least
sure
through
either.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I got the sense she'd be back. I don't know.
Well, if she's not back, we'll have time to have call her and contact her and ask her questions about all these people.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to be at the meeting.
Good point. Thank you.
It would be better if it was in the public.
What's that, what do we need to do? Do we need a motion for anything?
Well, I don't think you need to do anything.
Let's move on to
Yeah.
the city commission will discuss commission goals.
Mayor, I just put together the goals that the city commission had for 2025. Also included the master plan goals and some administrative goals, and just to kind of give the commission an idea of where we're at and what we've done in 2025. I think we did a real good job. We got just about everything done, and it's that time of year that we're interested in just to find out what else you want to do for 2026. So if you can start to think about that and let us know, we will compile those goals and bring them back, at least the city commission goals, and get them approved.
We should have that for next meeting? Or-
It would be helpful, typically we do this in December, but yeah, it'd be helpful if you could do that. And if you have any questions on any of these goals, I'm not sure if you have any questions, but most of these are self-explanatory what we did.
Okay, that's it for the vote. Okay, then, we're adding in right here, an item that wasn't on the original agenda, but we have to approve the 2026 meeting calendar, which Amy provided to us this evening. So do we have a motion to approve that? Has everybody had a chance to look at it?
Well, I can't say if it's the correct days or not, but.
It's been the tradition of the city to always have the meeting on Tuesday,
Yeah.
second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday.
You okay with this? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, city manager comments.
Well, we had 48 companies that reviewed our RFP for the solid waste services. And that RFP is due tomorrow. We'll find out more, but I can tell you that a few that you probably know, Waste Management looked into it, Runco, Priority Waste, and we've had some questions, not a lot, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see who's responds to the RFP.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your efforts with that.
We'll bring it back to you and hopefully whatever you decide.
Of those 48, do all of them do the in-home pickup?
No, out of the 48, there probably was maybe a third in Michigan. So there's a lot that were outside the state, and some of the companies I don't think we're capable of doing some of the extra work that we would require in the city. There's probably very limited companies that have that additional ability to have the smaller trucks and provide the service that we expect.
Okay, any other business?
I'd like to make a comment, because I pushed something through today. I apologize. When we sought the variance and it was granted at the Woodward, I got here right at 27 after, because I drove out of the way 4 minutes to drive down. And the reason I moved to approve that sign variance was specifically because of the safety. And I'm hoping we're keeping things on the record like we discussed at the last meeting, that we're gonna have full statements of why people, when people did it. And I wanna make sure when the next person comes for a sign variance that we don't find acceptable, because we have real serious regulations. So we did something different here to the extent that that is really for safety's sake. If you drive too slowly, I got honked at when I slowed down trying to figure out where the sign was. It's just not safe unless there's a decent sign, and that's why I voted to approve the sign variance. And I suspect that's the same for the rest of you. Thank you.
Anything, anyone else have anything?
Mayor, there was one thing that I believe Commissioner Fisher and also Commissioner Baxter might have seen a response from a resident that was concerned about traffic on Lasser. And so I did talk to Chief King about this, and I asked Chief King to respond to the commission about what he knows about the traffic, and talking with the school, and any sort of information, context he can bring to address that particular email that the commission may have received. So Chief, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Good evening again. So the CM, as the CM stated, he did brief me on some safety concerns or some convenience concerns going back to that school. And I want you, the commission, to know that starting back in April, we started receiving a couple email complaints regarding traffic flow on Lasser, in and out of the school. What we did was we assigned our patrol operations to conduct what I often refer to as special attention or selective enforcement, specifically to the flow of traffic in and out of the school, times of day, everything associated with that complaint. We also worked with Bloomfield Township, that school's in Bloomfield Township, and they have an SRO, a school liaison or a school resource officer. We worked with her and got her insight and how the plan was developed. There's significant history there. There used to be stop signs, there used to be a light at one point, all of that taken away. And at that time, based on all of our assessments, all of our follow-up, our investigation, we didn't see any safety concerns in and out of with the flow of traffic in and out of the school or up and down. Loss are associated with those two times, the beginning of school, drop-off, pickup, at the end of school, drop-off, pickup. Convenience is a different story. There were some convenience issues that were there for some of the parents in dropping and accessing the school, but no safety concerns. And at this time, that's what we have. We continue to
Can I
monitor.
interrupt, though? Our email specifically was from a resident that said it was unsafe for their child to cross the street to go to school. They live on the other side of, they live in the Bloomfield.
I stop when those kids cross the street. I drive, that's my street. I drive up Blosser, 150 yards north of where the stop sign, southbound side, stop sign should be at the school, because it should be there. There is nothing there, and getting in and out is a disaster. And I stop for the kid to cross the street, because there's two kids who cross the street every day there at about 8:15, 8:10. It's really been a disaster. It's not safe.
It is an unsafe situation, and we did get a complaint about it being unsafe. I've noticed it, he's noticed it. We got a complaint, specific complaint.
And I apologize, I did not
So-
get that complaint. I received it. If that resident wants to reach out to me and we can assign additional staff to assess it and investigate it,
I think we need to.
always.
We've seen the candidate interviews. One of us raised the issue of the candidate interview. Remember last 2 months ago? This is really, really frightening. My daughter had an accident taking a left turn off of Pine Ridge from there. Two of our neighbors have had accidents. We've only got 34 people in the subdivision, so a 10% ratio is pretty tough. And then the stop sign makes you feel so unsafe. And people don't go 25 miles an hour no matter what you say. What that sign says.
They are zooming up.
No one goes, these people go 45. I mean, people pass me up when I go 28 miles an hour going southbound on Owasso. Frequently, at least twice in the last month. People have no regard for this street.
If I could get some additional, is it the traffic flow in and out of the school?
It's awful.
No, it's
And kids
that,
walking,
and
and
it's
then
also the
kids
traffic
crossing.
on Losser is, those people are not school-related, but there are still children trying to cross. And they have no regard, there's no flashing light about it being a school, and people are not notified it's a school, they know it's 25, but it's not like this, notification that.
The subdivision north of Pine Ridge is the subdivision the kids come out of. They don't come out of Pine Ridge. And if you're going northbound, north of Pine Ridge, you see these kids crossing every day, two or three kids. And it's.
Out of Woodwind
Yeah.
Lane and, yeah.
Right.
And there are more and more young families buying homes in
We
there
want them.
because that school is right there. It used to be a high school and now it's a middle school, so you're gonna get more walking children.
And I'm
We
just,
don't have sidewalks there. We don't want them either, but we don't have.
Well, the sidewalk wouldn't help the situation because they're still trying to cross over Losser Road.
Well, what they probably do is be in the middle of the traffic coming in and the people coming out of the school and getting run over by one or the other, because they need a sign there. They just need a stop sign there.
Well, the sign used to be there when there was the high
Right.
school there.
Oh, yeah.
And then it wasn't a high school for a while. and so
Under
the-
construction, they
so-
took the sign
So the
down.
sign was
Yeah, they
removed,
never put
so
it back.
does
We
it
just
make
thought it
sense
was-
to put the sign back?
We think it does.
That was the issue. We always thought it was gonna go back.
We thought it was only down because of construction, but
If I could recommend it, I think it's important that the chief probably also discuss it with the school also, to see what their feeling is, and then especially as far as the, replacing the sign, so maybe if you didn't mind, we could just have the chief look into it a little more with the school and come up with a solution that he believes is appropriate.
And the township police, because
The
the township.
township, yeah.
they're the
So,
ones who stop all
we-
this when it goes-
thank you for pointing that out, City Manager. We did, and the school's happy with the current, when they developed and built that, they worked with the existing township and our department at that time when it went up. But I am more than happy to do another round of making contact with the county, with the school and the township to try to find a successful resolution and increase the safety. I just want to, I'm talking about a ingress and egress at the point of drop off and pickup at the school versus the safety and the traffic flow the other 24, 23 hours of the day. And is it the subdivision to the north and south that we're looking at, or
Yes.
is it?
You
So
can't
this
get
is a
out, you
long-
can't get out of the
So
sub.
these are longer stretches of area where a stop sign at the school, are we talking about multiple points up and down Losser?
That's what they had before.
And that's what I'm saying, I want to have as much
People see.
information, you know.
Now it's a straight cut through, so a lot of people are
Understood.
choosing to take it that.
But are
have
we,
no
are we going
interest
to be
in the
looking for
school.
multiple stop signs or just
The other-
one, or?
Well, Before, there was
Probably-
just the
probably-
one going south and the one going north,
Right,
correct?
but there's some change in egress into the school. The South Drive is not used for student drop-off.
Mm.
The North Drive.
Right,
it
where
used
the,
to be
going
this-
to the field.
Right, in the old days, the South Drive is where all the kids would drive their fancy cars to park when they were seniors.
And our inquiry in with Bloomfield Township and the school, they feel that they have a robust student drop-off and pickup plan. So we'll absolutely address this again, and we'll go back at it. But they were very resolute in their findings of what they did and how they structured this.
I know the township, of course, doesn't have residents coming in and out of their subdivisions. It's all on the city side, on the east side of Gloucester. You know, there's the one subdivision with 12 terrace apart condos or 15, and then you got the Orange Lake Drive, which I can tell you, people have such trouble getting out of Gloucester. They look at Victoria's coming off of Gloucester instead of coming off of Hickory Grove, which is impossible in the morning. It's, goes back a half a mile for lights. I know the area too well.
We will definitely follow up and get some additional information for this, and any other complaints, myself and my staff are more than willing to look into them. We just ask for as much detail as possible, what an individual is looking for or complaining about, that's all.
You may need a light there for an hour a day. I mean, it's an awful expensive, $33,000.
I think that was some of the feedback from the county and township, and
Too expensive.
when it was a cost-benefit analysis, and they looked at, what you have maybe is a school zone light that activates at the morning and the afternoon drop-off and pickup. Maybe that's another option. And I will look into that, and I will get some more information for you.
I mean, I don't want to have to stop. I mean, it's tedious to have to stop and stop, but it does help the subdivision people get out if all day long there is a stop sign going south and going north at some point. The speeding is a result of it being a straight cut through.
Mm-hmm. We will look into the speeding also, ma'am. We'll look into that also.
Wait till my children move out of my house. Just kidding.
We will look into it today, starting tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Are any other questions from the commission or city manager?
No, but thank you for looking into that.
We'll look into it. All right.
All right. The commission will now move into closed session to discuss union negotiations. May we please have a motion to enter a closed session? Thank you. May we have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.